My nigga.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Boxing Menu Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Back once again. And before we get started, you know what we gotta do.
Artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Come to the Boxing Menu Podcast. Show some love. Like and subscribe to the channel.
You hate on a nigga. I don't understand why you hate on me, nigga.
We don't understand.
Show love, nigga. It don't show nothing. It don't cost nothing to show a nigga love.
All we doing
nigga.
is getting money.
Show a nigga some love, nigga.
Wabbly dabbly.
Niggas out here don't love.
And before we get started, man, we gotta give a special thanks to Turkey Alley Sheik, Frank Warren, and Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? For bringing boxing back. You know what I'm talking about.
Season. We are discussing this.
Saudi Arabia's commitment, the Riyadh season, is making all this happen. It's what the fans have always wanted, the world's always wanted. Everybody wants to see these fights, and it's just so good for everybody.
Who's your favorite fighter of all time?
Roberto Duran.
Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran.
So yeah, what's going on, man? Welcome to the 11 o'clock show. You know what I'm saying? It's your host with the most, the Boxing Menu Podcast Plus. Like and subscribe to the channel, like I said once before. And I'm gonna rock out with y'all for a little minute, you know. People gotta go to work tomorrow, but it's Friday, you know, and the weekend's coming up. So it is what it is. So we're going to take it there.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man. You need an interpreter? It's time to go to school.
You will lose.
So today we'll be talking about Chris Eubank Jr. apologized to Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn after the press conference, which he called them all scumbags. So Chris Eubank Jr. unleashed a host of scattering criticism on various boxing promoters on Wednesday at the Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol pre-fight news conference, labeled them scumbags. Beterbiev and Bivol will fight on October 12th in the Ryder season in Saudi Arabia for the undisputed lightweight heavyweight championship. 33, 23-0, 12 KOs. Holds the WBA light heavyweight belt, while Beterbiev 39, 20-0, and 20 KOs is the ununified WBO, WBC, and IBF champion. However, it was Eubank who would fight on the undercard, who stole the show at the news conference. You know how he stole the show? As his new promoter, Eubank said, because other promoters up here is a scumbag. Yeah, he called them all scumbags, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. Saturday at the top table were Matchroom's Eddie Hearn, Queensberry, Frank Warren, Top Rank, Todd, Spencer Brown, Frank Warren behind me, been lying and cheating his way through boxing for the last couple of decades. Sued me for a couple $1,000 a few years ago. So obviously I was going to go with him, Eubank said. That's what Eubank said. He had me locked up in a terrible contract the last few years, squeezing money out of me. Scumbag. That's what he's saying to Frank Warren. He calling Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. A visible stun, Warren interjected. Speak up, I can't hear you. Who he's calling a scumbag? Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, they did everything they could to make the fight against Conor Ben, knowing that he was on steroids, scumbag. That's what they said. And that's what he said. That's what Eubank said. He said they did everything they could do, you know what I'm saying, to make the fight, knowing that the guy he was supposed to fight was a scumbag. He said the only promoter I know for sure isn't the scumbag is Turkey Alex Sheed. This is a man who isn't trying to make money from fighters. He isn't trying to use lawyers and accountants to lock up fighters and slave contracts. And Ben Shaden, a cool guy too. Warren was unimpressed by Eubanks Jr. comments. It told Talk Sports he was sued by me for legally branching off the contract. I was successful in suing him and he paid damages, sustainable damages. Dang. He gonna get sued again for the comments that he made publicly. He will be sued and he will have a problem over that. And nobody else who says it, they can get in the queue. Later on Wednesday, Eubank Jr. issued a statement in which he apologized and withdrawn his early comments. Following the press conference from the Rider season on October 12th, I would like to react my inaccurate statements and offer my apologies to Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. That's what Eubank said. I now wish to focus purely on boxing and preparing for a huge fight in the Rider next month. Warren then released a statement attempting an apology, and if he had upset Eubank Jr., Warren said, I accept Crips' apology and retractions. I have to have said things before and apologize to him as awful as so if any criticism of him has upset him in the past. I look forward to seeing him compete on a huge Rider season card. We looked ahead to some potential massive bouts in the future. The Better V versus Duval undercard also featured a lot of fighters. Rising light heavyweight star Ben Whitaker is also on the card. Yeah. So what y'all think about that, man? What y'all think about that? Him apologizing after calling Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, man. Calling them both, you know what I'm saying, scumbags. You know, that's crazy, man. You should have seen how Frank Warren was looking at Eubank Jr. after that. You know, he was in the background looking, you know. I guess probably Turkey out of Sheik or something like that, you know, made him apologize or whatever. Because if he didn't apologize, he won't be on that Rider season card, probably. You know, they probably would have took him off the card and made him fight somebody else. But I got some clips, and we're going to pull up some clips, and we're going to watch some clips, you know, and tell me, you know, at the end of the show or whatever, because I'm only going to be on here for a minute, what y'all think about that, you know? Was he standing on business, or, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, he was just wrong for saying that, you know, because that's how I go in this world of boxing, you know what I'm saying? it is what it is, you know. So we're gonna check out some clips. Let me ask it to the stage. Here we go, right here.
I'm Noel Honig, and I'm director. And
Sorry about the ads, y'all. No, I used to
back. He takes on Camille Zaramata. We haven't seen Chris Eubank Jr. since I thought he put in a career best performance against Liam Smith. He's the only man I know that's been called out by everyone from 147 to 168 pounds. Chris, you're back, and it's good to see you back as well. New promotional team, new trainer for this camp as well. On the promotional team, you've chosen boxer. Why?
Why boxer? Because every other promoter out here is a scumbag. That's why. You know, we've got Frank Warren behind me, been lying and cheating his way through boxing for the last couple of decades. Sued me for a couple $100,000 a few years ago, so obviously I was never going to go with him. The guy's a scumbag. Calais Sauerland, had me locked up.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Calais Sauerland had me locked up in a terrible contract for the last few years, squeezing money out of me at every opportunity. Scumbag. Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith, they did everything they could to try and make this fight against Conor Benn still go ahead. Still go ahead.
Why do you fight Hamza Sharad, scumbag?
After knowing that that he was on steroids, scumbags. You know, I would say the only.
Why do you answer?
I would say the only promoter that I know for sure isn't a scumbag is His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. You know, this is a man who isn't trying to take money from fighters. He isn't trying to use lawyers and accountants to lock fighters up in slave contracts. You know, he's a man of God. He's a man of religion. That's what's most important to the people of Saudi Arabia. He just wants to put the biggest fights on, the best events on, and pay fighters what they're worth. And as a fighter, you know, it's a blessing to be.
Hold up. Hey, look at Eddie Hearn. Look at Eddie Hearn in the back, though. Look at Eddie Hearn in the back. Looking how he looking at Look at how he looking at Chris Eubank. He out there like this. Fuck you mean? Like, what the fuck you mean? He's like, we giving you another big fight. You know? That's crazy. But it is what it is. Let's get back to it.
A fighter at this moment of time, because this is the first time we've ever had a promoter like this in the history of boxing. And you know, Ben Shalom's a very cool guy too.
So do you think he was wrong for calling Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren scumbags? You know, even though it sounded like he had a bad contract. You know, to me, it's all funny. Maybe they was just doing that to promote the fight, you know, to make the press conference or something, you know, kind of different. You know what I'm saying? And sell the fight. But we're going to watch another video. Here we go. Let's see what Eddie Hearn had to say.
Hey Meta, take a photo.
Defended that title, but is this kind of a stereotypical fight that probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Riyadh season and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh?
I think it maybe could have happened, but I don't think there's anything for sure. I mean, Dimitri suffered early in his career because he was very, very good. And obviously his profile wasn't that high. When we signed him, we had some huge nights with him. And more importantly, we got him the fight against Canelo Alvarez, you know, that changed his life forever. And he won the fight and, you know, really established himself as a superstar in the sport. And now that's given him the platform to land an opportunity on Riyadh season and a lot of money to be in one of the best fights in boxing. So this is his moment. You know, as he said, he's been boxing since he was 6 years old. And this is his chance to achieve the ultimate accolade in the sport.
You know what's coming, Chris Eubank Jr., press conference stage. No one got off lightly apart from Ben Shalom. You're a scumbag, Frank Smith's a scumbag, Frank Warren's a scumbag, and Callis Howland. What was you thinking when this kind of...
I think, you know, he wasn't very happy that he was on the bottom table down there. And I think he was probably put up to what to say, but I don't know. I mean, very strange. It'll be dealt with. And I think that's all we can say at the moment.
You must have been a little bit pissed off, though.
Honestly, like, the guy's a melt. I mean, really, like, he's fighting Karamil Zerometa. Like, his team are phoning me up, begging me to make the Conor Benn fight. So he'll get rewarded.
And he mentioned Conor Benn, obviously, when he referred to him as a scumbag.
Conor Benn's making him relevant, you know? And we'll see. We look forward to that fight. But first, I'm sure that'll be dealt with, and then we'll go from there.
Eddie, I haven't read this article, but I've been sent this Simon Jordan article. I think you're aware of it, titled, "We must stop selling our sporting soul to the Saudis who have undermined free speech in this country and must respect our history and culture." Have you read the article? Have you seen that?
I saw the headline. I mean, I don't know what Simon Jordan's playing at, really. Kind of like wants to be this rogue hero of controversy. You know, he was sort of begging for a meet with His Excellency, and I don't believe the meet happened, and then wants to just go and, like, just create headlines. I mean, I just don't understand. When you say they need to respect our history and culture, that sounds racist to me. I mean, like, what do you mean, who they? I mean, what, the Saudis? What? So them coming over, listening to fight fans, our country, probably the most historic boxing event we've ever had in our history, and making sure that every fighter on the card gets the opportunity to change their life forever. We've got to respect them. They've got to respect us. They're not allowed to do that. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know why. I don't get it. I mean, it's just these miserable people. Imagine these people indoors. How miserable these people must be. Like, all day they're moaning, right? It's just enjoy what's happening to the sport. You want to see, you know, on one hand, you want to moan that great fights never happen. Oh, boxing, we never get the great fights. All of a sudden, you get the great fights, you get the great nights, and you're still moaning. And by the way, the people that are making the great fights and the great nights have got to respect our history and culture. Fuck off. We're going to go.
One more. Last time you was on air with Simon Jordan and Jim White, it was very kind of respectful. It was nice. It didn't really get as feisty as it once had. Will you go on and to that show and kind of say...
He's not speaking negatively about me. He's speaking negatively about the movement in boxing. But he's not happy at any time. So, listen, I'm always up for going off. But listen, Simon, he wants the headlines. He's got them again. God bless. Best of luck to him. Cheerio.
So there you have it. You know, he done called everybody scumbags, and then he apologized. So you heard what Eddie Hearn had to say. You know what I'm saying? He accepting his apology, saying he gonna get the big fights, but he's saying though, you know, he gonna get them in the future. So he probably gonna set him up with a major big fight. You know, and see if he can pass the test. because I'm pretty sure it ain't over with yet. But we will see. But we gonna check out Frank Warren. I mean, not Frank Warren, but you know, my guy right here, Frank Warren, not Eddie Hearn. We're gonna see what he got to say.
You know, he's not like he's some youngster. He's got next generation. He's 34 years of age, 35 this year. So, you know, there's some great domestic fights. You know, Denzel, as I just said, for Hamza, for him to fight one of them, but he doesn't want to know. You know, he's not like he's some youngster. He's got next generation. He's 34 years of age, 35 this year. So, you know, there's some great domestic fights. You know, Denzel, as I just said, for Hamza, for him to fight one of them, but he doesn't want to know.
And now we're gonna check out this Chris Eubank Jr. Interview over here.
Donate plasma today and receive up to $700 your first month. CSL Plasma. Do the amazing.
So now?
I wouldn't say they've changed. My goal has always been to be in exciting fights, to be in the biggest fights that can be made, to get myself into a position where I can fight for world titles. And that's exactly what we're still doing. You know, my next opponent in Kamil Zerameta, he's not a huge name, but I've been out of the ring for a year. We needed somebody that I could get back in there with, go through a camp, go through a weight cut, you know, brush off the cobwebs, but still be in there with a live wire, somebody that knows what he's doing. You know, 25 wins, only 2 losses against 2 world champions. That's not somebody to sniff at. You know, he knows what he's doing. So a solid opponent to go in there, get me back into the swing of things, and then after that, big fights, big names, or world titles, or both. That's the goal over the next 12 months.
Do you get nervous before fights? Are you worried about being?
See, and that's what I was saying. That's probably why he apologized. It's probably why he apologized to Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, because, you know, he knew he wasn't gonna get no fight. But now that he apologized, he still got his fight. And now that he still got his fight, oh, he gonna get some big fights. He might get that Conor Ben fight. That's probably what he was doing to make them get him that Conor Ben fight, which they didn't want to do. But you know, now he might get it. So we might see Conor Ben versus Eubank Jr. You know, but back to it.
Out of the ring for, like, is it over a year now?
Yeah, that especially once you start getting a bit older, 35, yeah, the layoffs are actually a lot more dangerous. You know, we saw it with Wilder. We've seen it many times where guys come back off of layoffs and they're just not the same guy.
Yeah.
That was, you know, a big reason why I didn't take the Canelo fight in September. You don't go into a fight with somebody like that after being inactive for a year. I don't care how much money you're offering me. I'm going in there to win. I'm not going in there for a payday like so many other guys have done. Consistent fights over the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and then get Canelo. That's the goal, and I believe that is something that can happen. So that's why I turned that fight down. The landscape roadmap is extremely exciting. There's so many names out there, domestically and internationally, that are mega fights. So get the job done in October 12th, and then the sky's the limit.
How hard do you think you're going to be pushed on October 12th?
I don't know. It's going to come down to you know, how hard this guy is going to come in there. And I've been told he's been preparing for a long time for me. And it's going to come down to, you know, what am I going to feel like or be like after being out of the ring for a year? I don't think it's going to be an easy fight by any means, but I think that if I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to stop this guy.
Do you still have motivation? Like the motivation's still there? Is it the same as it was? Has it changed?
It has to be. You know, you can't want that motivation. You can't perform. You can't get yourself up in the morning to run. You can't go through these hard spars. And if you do go through all of it, and then on the night you're gonna flop because it's just not in you anymore.
Yeah.
I am in no way, shape, or form anywhere near that stage. And if I ever did feel like I was getting close to that, I would retire.
Yeah.
Retirement is, you know, even just saying it, it kind of hurts me. I hate even saying that word because it's just it's bad vibes, it's bad juju. I don't want to bring that energy out into the world.
Yeah.
You know, I had to kind of think about that in my last fight.
Yeah.
You know, if I lose to Smith twice, what do I do here? Maybe I should retire. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, those.
Man, what's up with all this bad juju and all that stuff, man? If they lose the fight, you know, either you gonna win or you gonna lose, man. What's up with all that bad karma, bad juju, bad this and that, man? Like they put a spell on them or something over there, man. That's crazy.
Those silly little voices start getting into your head, and you got to just,
You got to get rid of them, yeah.
Yeah, you got to get rid of them and do what you're supposed to do. And that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
I mean, that was an incredible turnaround from the first fight with Smith to obviously the rematch, where lots of people, I think myself included, thought, oh, well, maybe, you know, you just, boxing's caught up with you, you know, like, and it happens to so many fighters where it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just too hard to make the weight, or, you know, the punch resistance has gone, the legs gone. But you turned it all around. You showed everyone that you're still a force to be reckoned with. Are you on a fight-by-fight sort of motivational status now, or are you the sort of guy who needs, right, I need to think about Canelo or someone similar, and you know they're 2-3 fights away, you know they're 12 to 18 months away, and therefore you have that as a plan and a strategy? Or is it no, it's fight by fight?
For me, in the position I'm in, it's fight by fight because there's so many.
There's a rhythm in the markets, and if you want to learn to listen for it, we'll show you how.
Big names out there for me to get into the ring with, so I don't need to have one name and kind of, all right, well, I want to work towards that. There's too many big fights out there. So for me now, it is fight by fight. All right, what's the biggest fight we can make right now? All right, let's make that, and then afterwards we'll make that one, and then afterwards we'll make that one. But obviously, each time you're fully focused on your opponent.
What sort of fighter are you now, Chris? How would you describe yourself, like physically as a fighter? You know, because you know there was a time where I would describe you as like high work rate, you know, great engine, you know, good hand speed, pressure fighter. How would you describe yourself now? Have you changed? Like, have you, with experience, have you adapted, or are you still the same
I wouldn't say I've changed, but I've, you know, as you get older, you tweak, you morph, you add things to your repertoire. You come into contact with different coaches and trainers and eating habits and nutrition and training techniques, and you just add everything up. And as you get older, you know, you learn how to train smarter more than just training more. Just comes with experience. But at the core of it, you know, if you hurt me, then I'm gonna be the guy you just said.
You revert back to what, instincts, yeah?
Yeah, instincts, which is, all right, let's do a
fight.
Let's go.
Yeah, and that still hasn't left you.
No. And if that ever does leave me, I'm out.
Yeah. You've always had a big name, like since you turned pro, and obviously there's that pressure of, you know, getting pushed one way, maybe fast tracked because of your name, but opportunities arise because of it as well. Where you are now, what would be your choice? Like, is it your profile will get you this fight that might necessarily mean no titles, but, you know, a good payday or a big name? Or are you chasing titles? Or something else?
I'm chasing everything. You know, I've learned over the years that you can't just focus on one thing. It's
Is that hard
impossible.
though? That's got to be hard to chase everything.
I mean, you know, it's hard, but that's what boxing is. As you know, there's nothing easy about boxing.
Because you're in that unfortunate situation. You're like a pay-per-view name. Like most people are not. Like you can have a fight with, no disrespect, a fight with Liam Smith, and that's pay-per-view. We know because you're Eubank, you know, and what you create commercially. But that's got to be hard for you because almost like all misery is because of choice. Like the more choice you got, the more panic there is about making the wrong decision.
But you know what you don't want is no choice. You know, it's much better to have the choice than to just be, all right, this is it, take it or leave it. You know, I built myself and my career into a position where we can make these big fights with so many different names, and they are mega fights without there being any titles on the line. People don't understand how hard and rare that is. I'm in that position. For me, I don't have to focus on, you know, all right, I just want a world title or I just want a big fight. I can kind of, we have the map, we have the names. Which guys can we get at what times for what price? That's the blessed position I'm in right now. So I'm having fun.
Do you still enjoy boxing, or is it just you're a boxer?
I do still enjoy it. You know, at 35, you know, I'm a little bit more, you know, I get a little bit more sore during the training camps here and there.
I can imagine.
Yeah, than I used to when I was 20. But that's part of it. And, you know, the soreness I get is, you know, it's made up for in the experience that I have. But I still love the sport. It still excites me. I'm still happy to go to the gym. I'm still enjoying being, you know, in that camp stage and, you know, watching the weight come off and feeling my spars getting better. And, you know, I still love that whole process. And that's very important because once you fall out of love with it, that's when you can get hurt. And that's when, you know, things can really go out the window. You know, my old man retired at 32. He'd had enough.
Yeah.
I haven't had enough.
Yeah. Is weight making a big part of your training camp now?
It's not, I wouldn't say it's a big part, but it's definitely a bigger part than it was.
How heavy have you been up to out of the ring in the last year?
So for the first time in my life, this year, I hit 190 pounds. I think that might be cruiserweight.
Yeah, anything over 175 is cruiser. You're stone over stone into cruiserweight.
I don't know how I did it, and it was actually quite cool because.
Where was you at times? You in Vegas?
I was in Vegas, yeah.
Caesar's buffet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was.
What would you go for at the Caesar's buffet?
You got to get the king crab legs with the with the melted butter.
Oh, the melted butter, melted butter might rock you in. There you go, the good fats.
But it was interesting because.
But you don't drink, do you?
No, that's something I don't do.
You would have made 200. You would have been over 200 pounds if you was a drinker.
No drugs, yeah, probably would have. But it was interesting because I would be getting into the ring at Top Rank and at Floyd's with middleweights, and their punches just bouncing off me. And these are guys that fight at middleweight, and I just wasn't feeling anything. I was just throwing them around. I was like, wow, this is interesting. Like,
so why have you come back down to middleweight? Did you not fancy a run at light heavyweight cruiser?
I think.
I mean, there was a time when me and you were hanging out together. We were boxing each other, and your dad said he could do middle, super middle, light heavyweight.
Yeah, you know,
they're big lumps, aren't they?
That's actually what a fight like this is for against Zaramata, is to make sure that I can still make the weight and be effective. You know, 35 years old, been out of the out of the ring for a year. How's that weight cut going to be? We got to find out. You don't want to find out when you're getting ready for Canelo, right?
Yep, of course.
Or a big name. You want to know before you go into those situations. So yeah, I'm excited, man.
And how's sparring been since you got closer to the 160 mark? Still bumping them around?
Yeah, I mean, the sparring's been good. High work rate, a lot of rounds.
Still 100 punches around, like high work rate?
Yeah, I mean, I try. You know, I think I might pick my punches a bit more as I get older, conserve the energy a bit more. Working on power shots a bit more than I used to, especially with my new trainer, Jonathan Banks. That's his thing, you know, and obviously him with Triple G over, you know, however many years, he knows all about the power shots. So it's good to have somebody like that in my corner. He trained Triple G for his fight against Camille Zereman.
Yep.
So that was you know, another big reason why we wanted him in the camp, because he knows, you know, he knows that fighter. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we can come up with on the night.
Are you a better fighter now than you was 5 years ago?
I would say so. I'm definitely more experienced. I'm smarter. I think I'm stronger. I think my IQ is higher. So overall, yeah, I would say I'm in the best shape, or the best, you know, the best boxing mind I could be. I feel great physically, feel great mentally. So yeah, I would say I'm a better fighter now.
Perfect. Great answer, Chris. I know you're getting called away, so I thank you for your time today, pal. Wish you luck with the rest of your camp.
Appreciate it,
Enjoy
George.
Dubai.
Man.
And yeah, enjoy that weight cut.
All right.
Yeah, so let's see if Chris Eubank, man, Jr. pull it off. Seems like he's trying to get a fight with Canelo. Let's see if he's gonna get that fight with Canelo next, you know. So it seems like Canelo probably gonna be fighting David Benavidez next. But we'll see. But other than that, man, about to get up out of here, y'all. And I'll get with y'all tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Peace. I'm out of here.
Record me. I'm the best in the building. Y'all talking about that intensity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what we doing. No, you don't record nobody but me, because I'm the best in the building.
Hold on. You the best in the building?
You Philippines, motherfucker, looking motherfucker.
What's going on?
Oh, we just chilling, man. We just.
Yeah,
I get some stuff. Motherfucker, you was in the middle of saying something.
I say I'm the
Fuck you. That's what it is in the middle of saying. Y'all see what I did on Showtime? Fuck you.
Yeah. There he is right
Fuck
there.
y'all talking about.
What he do, Adrian? What's good with you, fam?
Hold up. His black ass ain't saying fuck you. He just saying fuck the haters. So that's what he was saying.